Summer is finally over and class is back in session, and today is the first day of my kids' homeschool. Now, I'm super excited because my son is in kindergarten and my daughter is in pre-K 2, and I'm going to be using the skylight to help keep us on track. Now, my kids get excited over the simplest things, so I told them they had a surprise downstairs, and they were so happy to find this school bus balloon. So once we did our first day of school pictures, we then got ready for breakfast. Now, yesterday I made these apple cinnamon toaster strudels, and we were so excited to have them. My son came downstairs asking specifically for his toaster strudel because he's never had one before. And this has to be my favorite part about homeschooling. I love a slow morning because I am not a morning person, and being able to sit down and have breakfast with my kids every morning is such an underrated blessing. But first, I have to make my coffee, and I have been obsessed with a pistachio hazelnut latte. Now, he's starting off the school year knowing 32 phonics sounds, not including several blends, as well as 50 sight words. By the end of the year, I want him to know all 42 phonics sounds and at least 100 sight words. So I created him this little journal where I made my own worksheet so we can introduce one sound and one sight word every single day. Now, we always start with reviewing the sounds and sight words that we know because I want him to know them with automaticity, which means he just sees them and says them with little to no think time. So once I introduce a sight word, we'll use it in a sentence, then we'll trace it and we'll write it independently. Then we'll also display it in his playroom on his word wall. And when I'm teaching sight words, I don't only teach it in isolation, but I also expose him to the word in books as well so he can see what it looks like among other words. And once we learn a new phonics sound, we trace it and write it the same as a sight word, and then we practice blending, and we always practice with nonsense words so I can make sure he's using his phonics skills. Now, I have to be very consistent, making sure that I give Avia her individual time as well, and for the most part, we're working on vocabulary, and I'm going to start doing one letter sound a week. At this point, I'm just trying to build her stamina so she can sit down and learn a lesson for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now it's time for math, and I'm using the My Math book I actually got on Amazon, but this is the book that I used when I was a kindergarten teacher for the first half of the year before we rolled into Eureka Math. And he already knows a lot of these concepts, but I really just want to make sure he has those strong foundational skills. And now we're going to end our session today with ST Math, and we also do Hooked on Phonics so that he can always stay above grade level. And if you want any of these resources, comment school and I'll send them your way.